Welcome to BP Rising, everybody, the #1 day trading community. Here to break down ECYT stock. It's had a big move recently. It's a low float biotech. A lot of things been going on with it, so just wanted to give my input on the situation. Let's go over here to the news and let me go through some of the things that have been happening. First thing, you can see a lot of Form 4s, which most of these are insiders acquiring shares, which is always a sign that something could run, because usually they're going to know about their own company, so they're going to jump in and get some shares before something happens positive with the company, before the stock runs. It's often a good indicator that something's coming, especially with the biotech sector, which has been very hot recently. I'm seeing a lot of these Form 4s, a lot of Form SC13 GAs as well, showing small stakes. And this is showing, hedgies loading up, ready to blow up a sector. Same thing happened recently with the blockchain. You saw a lot of these as well. So pay attention to these Form 4s. Pay attention to these Form SC13 GAs. They can be great indicators. One of the biggest things that's recently happened was a public offering of shares at $4.20, which is very steep discount to the current price of $8. Dilution, which is never a good thing for a stock. The stock has run up since then, and mainly it looks to me like some of these hedgies are slowly buying 100 blocks with their algorithms and ticking it up. So that's kind of how the game works. The hedgies take big positions. Back December 31st in that range, there's a lot of big fish took some positions, and then after a few months or whatever, something starts to happen. The stock moves up. They tick it up with the algos, and they're already in with big positions. And pretty soon, those big positions are worth a lot more money. And that's how the game works. The retail traders come in, they start to load up on it. The smart money sells into the new naive/gullible money, and of course, which is not everybody. If you get a good run and you sell for profit, you were smart money. But a lot of what's considered dumb money starts coming in and chasing, and the retail money that's in late starts buying the shares from the hedgy smart money that was in early, and that's how they make their money. So, but yeah, if you look back, dilution, Form 4s, you got Cohen upgraded this, which is convenient because I believe Cohen is having a presentation on the 12th. So they also upgraded the stock, and this presentation's coming up. So a lot of this is convenient timing. It's all pretty much probably orchestrated, timing-wise. The biosector tends to be hot. The upgrade comes at a convenient time. Recent big stakes, few months back. It all kind of lines up if you pay attention. They have, this phase 3 trial situation. The thing with this phase 3 trial deal is it's not going to be finished for a couple years, the company said. So you're looking at 2 years out to find out if this thing is going to even get FDA approval. That's way out. So, and for the stock to run as big as it has, and you have this so far out, you have to expect that there's something else going on with the move. And it's been running up for several days, along with the bio sector, which has been pretty hot as well. So some other stocks like ZSAN has been running the last few days big as well. But let's go in here. Here's a Form SC13 GA. You see RA Capital Management. You run through here real quick. 7%. You can see that they're taking some stakes in these companies. Here's a few more. Here's more Form 4s. I bet you if we pull it up, it's somebody acquiring shares. Boom. Yeah, 16,000 acquired. So that's insiders loading the boat. That's hedgies loading the boat. This is all, these are all coming out, February 8th, fairly recently. Again, these are signs that something's to come. Yeah, so this presentation's coming up, on the 12th. I always say the quote, buy the anticipation, sell the presentation. These stocks tend to move up towards the presentations, and then they kind of dump afterwards when people realize nothing exciting is going to happen at the presentation. And nothing exciting will happen at this one on the 12th. if anything exciting is going to happen, it's going to be a few years from now, and the chances of getting approval are still very low, and it's likely that it won't even happen. So it's a lot of speculation move, a lot of hype move on these different things. So let's look here at the chart itself. Let's look back about a month. You can see it's had a huge move. I mean, it was down about $3 a share. It's run up to near 9. So, you're talking about 200% move from $3 a share to $9 a share, which is a huge move. The float on this is pretty low. I think it shows around 30 million, but I think it's probably a lot lower because I think some of these hedges ate up a lot of the float, so it's probably even lower than that. But it's been just ticking up. I've been watching it carefully. It's been just ticking up with these 100 block buys, and that's typically algorithms. They come in hundreds usually, and a lot of the reason they're hundreds is because in order to move a chart, 100 shares is the minimum that has to be used for the chart to move. If you for example, buy or short like 20 or 30 shares, you'll notice the chart's probably not going to move. So they do it in hundreds, and that's the minimum amount you can spend basically to move the chart. And that's what it looks like has been happening. Now, another thing that's important to keep in mind is that this has a pretty high short interest. I think it's about 5%. I mean, that's not real high. It's not like 20 or 25%. But I've noticed on the message boards a lot of shorts talking, and that's unusual. Normally you see a lot of bulls talking about blowing it up and all this. So that's a little unusual to see that many bears talking. So it looks like a crowded short. And when a short's crowded and algos are attacking and they're buying up and they're ticking it higher, what's going to happen? The shorts are going to start to get squeezed, and the weaker hands generally are going to start buying because they're panicking and they're buying to cover to take their loss and get out because it keeps grinding higher. So the float will rotate over and over sometimes, and then what will happen is new people come in to buy, and then it forces more shorts to cover, and the buying increases, and it just keeps on going up. That looks to me like what's been going down in this situation. So that's why it's got up 200% here. Today it did have a pretty decent correction here, and 9 could have been the number. It could have. I mean, some of these hedges could have had the algorithm set to buy up till 9 and then start selling. It's very possible. You can see some big selling came in, big volume bar here, red volume bar came in, and it dropped pretty good. 9 could be the top. Definitely possible that's the top for now, at least for a while, until we see what's going to happen with this phase 3 situation in a year or two from now. But you can guarantee, be rest assured, that the hedgies and the Form 4 insiders that bought this up, all these guys right here, you can guarantee they are going to be smart and sell on a move like this. So big selling is bound to come in, and they're going to sell to everybody that's come in and started buying up, chasing this move. All right, that's just how this is how the game works. The sooner people realize that, the better their trading is going to be. The hedge funds cannot exist without retail buyers coming in and buying up the positions they're selling way up. Okay? That's probably what's happening here. So expect that this could come down and get a good 10% or more drop. Because these guys, I mean, after a 200% move and you're making huge money, you're going to take that profit. You're not going to be foolish when you're smart money and you were in early and keep waiting until the thing crashes. You're going to sell when all the buyers are coming in. All right? So that is probably what is happening here. All right, now let's look at a couple more things. I want to go here to, all right, always take a look at the institutional holdings on the stock, who owns these things. You can see that about 41% is institutional. So a lot of the float is held by institutional, which also makes it easier for them to control if they want to ride it up. Take a big stake, millions of dollars, then ride it up with $100 algo buys lightly, and then you're banking pretty quick. All right, so pay attention to the institutional holdings. Pay attention to the number of how crowded the shorts. All right, you can see some of the people holding this. RA Capital, FM, that's Fidelity right there, which happens to be my broker, probably squeezing me out, or trying to at least. Then let's go down to, let's see. Yeah, you have, Let's go to institutional holdings right here. Okay. See who increased, decreased positions, new positions. But yeah, look right here. You see 12/31. That's the end of the year. You can see the shares that are held, from all these different, there's Fidelity, Vanguard, you got BlackRock, which is the big one. Baker Brothers, they love to get in biotechs and blow them up for sure. You see them in something, and not long after they're in the stock, something tends to happen. So always keep an eye out for those guys. You can see all these other ones here, but Partner Fund Management, they've got the majority here at 3.4 mil, and they're trying to squeeze out the shorts, and it's been working so far. But I think it's coming to an end pretty soon, and I think we're gonna get a 10 to 15% drop. If you look at shortsqueeze.com, which is a little website I like to take a look at sometimes, you can see short percent of flow. It's showing 5%, so that's not real high, but it's decent. Float showing at 37 million, but it's not trading like it's at 37 million. It's trading like it's lower to me, maybe 15, something in that range. Market cap's 340 million, so keep that in mind. It's got 340 million market cap, but I don't believe it has any revenues hardly at all, and a lot of debt, I believe. I'll take a look at the 10Q in a second, or 10K. But yeah, so that's the deal on the percent float. And then you look at the revenues now. I do have to say that with biotechs, there's generally, they have big losses and they have big debt and they don't have hardly any revenues until they hit something. And so this is not unusual, but you can see that they do have basically zero revenue. Some collaboration revenue, 70K every year, which is basically zero. You can see, so they've got no revenue as of now. Net loss, you can see, 50. Well, it's actually okay. This is 2017, so you can see it increases 41 to 55 mil in net loss. Big losses. Come down here. Let's see what else. What else we got? There it is. Net loss again. Yeah, so basically, I mean, it's kind of what you expect from bio, but it just kind of puts things in perspective. They got no revenues, big losses, and 2 years until anything happens with this phase 3 deal, and it could bust. So it's a lot of speculation. Let's see, here's a Motley Fool, just talking about why it moved. Phase 2 data. Not a whole lot here, but yeah, but anyway, so bottom line is with the crowded shorts, the recent insider, the Form 4s, the Form SC13GAs, it's pretty clear what's happening with the situation. These guys got in. It's being hyped up. You've got this presentation coming up on March 12th, I believe it is. And so a lot of times these bios, in conjunction with the fact that the whole sector has been moving, this thing's moving up, and at some point it's gonna take a hit. It's gonna drop 10 to 15%, and these guys that are in are gonna sell. Some, maybe they'll hold in and risk it, to see if this thing passes, gets the FDA approval and whatnot. But that's way out, and I seriously doubt a lot of them are going to hold that long. What else do we have here? Let's go back to the chart. So yeah, if you look, let's look back 5 years. You can see it is nearing some resistance here. It's hit about 9, and that happens to be some resistance right here in this area from December of 2013. That's currently showing some resistance, and today it fell below VWAP here, and it stayed below. I believe about 825, 822 area, so it fell below. And that's obviously a sign of weakness for it to hold below VWAP. So definitely expect that this thing could get a drop in the next few days, and I definitely think with the presentation coming, there's going to be some buy the anticipation, sell the presentation type of situation happening with it. Okay, so that's going to be it. As always, if anyone has any questions, always email me, bprising1@gmail.com. Shoot me a message. And if you're interested in joining our trading room, also shoot me a message. We'd love to have you. We provide stock alerts and day trader education. So thanks so much for watching, as always, everybody. I really do appreciate it. And until the next video, everyone have a great one. Thanks.